and has a spirit of dedication and sacrifice. Miss Beth Stewart. Miss Stewart teaches Spanish and math, but more importantly, heart and growth. She reminds her students that honesty builds trust, effort matters, and kindness counts. Miss Stewart does not shy away from difficult conversations. Her real-life advice is a cornerstone to building trust with students. She invests her whole self in making a difference in our school community. If you've ever walked through our halls after the last bell, chances are you've seen Miss Stewart's classroom lights still on. She's either tutoring a student, preparing lessons for tomorrow, grading, or working on the next school event. You may also see her helping a student prepare for the ACT or the ASVAB, completing the FAFSA, or supporting students who look to enlist in the branch of the armed forces. It's not only students who benefit from Miss Stewart's generosity. Teachers know they can count on her for assistance, encouragement, some honest advice, or just a smile. Miss Stewart's care does not stop at the classroom door. She's a mentor, a role model, a friend, and more recently, a proud and loving grandma. Not to mention, she has achieved a supermom status. No matter the distance she has to drive or fly to support one of her children, she does not miss an event. And through it all, she is a supportive and devoted wife. Miss Stewart, your service to Mountain Grove High School, our town, and your hometown of Willow Springs echo the same values we celebrate in our veterans today: commitment, compassion, and devotion. You undoubtedly demonstrate that service takes many forms and that one person's dedication can make a difference in countless lives. On behalf of all of us, MGHS students, staff, and families, thank you for your steadfast support of our school.
I thought they were going to keep this a secret.
Thank you to the VFW Post 30 for providing this opportunity for our students to participate in the 2025 Patriots Pen and Voice of Democracy essay contest and recognizing a remarkable teacher, Mrs. Stewart. To our veterans, honored guests, faculty, staff, and students of Mountain Grove High School, on this Veterans Day, we are truly grateful to welcome a distinguished guest. It is not often that we have the privilege to introduce someone who has served our great nation and continues to make a remarkable difference in our state and local communities. Our keynote speaker today is Chief Master Sergeant Byron T. Stewart. Chief Master Sergeant Stewart is the Senior Enlisted Leader for the 131st Communications Squadron, where he leads airmen who keep our nation's cyber and communications network secure and mission ready. As a 1997 enlistee, he began his career in tactical communications, supporting Special Operation Forces, and has since served across the Air Force and Air National Guard with multiple deployments to the Middle East in support of Operations Enduring Freedom, Inherent Resolve, and Freedom Sentinel. Today, he mentors the next generation of cyberspace professionals, training, equipping, and inspiring airmen to excel. Beyond the uniform, Chief Stewart serves as Director of Global Network Operations and Edge Caching Services at MasterCard, leading a global team that maintains the company's payment network so every swipe, tap, and online purchase stays fast, secure, and dependable. He holds 2 associate degrees, a bachelor's in computer information from Missouri State University, a master's in business education from Missouri State, and a master's in informative technology management from Western Governors University. Chief Stewart is one of our own. He and his wife, Beth, an educator in Mountain Grove High School's Math and Spanish department, make their home in Willow Springs. Many in our community know him not only as a veteran, but also as a former teacher in the Willow Springs and West Plains school districts, and as a local entrepreneur who built 2 IT businesses. Service runs in the family. His 3 oldest children, Cody Ward, Caleb Ward, and Aiden Stewart, have all enlisted in the United States Air Force, and his youngest daughter, Sydney Stewart, plans to attend college and earn her commission as an officer in the U.S. Air Force. Please join me in welcoming Chief Master Sergeant Byron T. Stewart, husband, father, educator, leader, and proud member of the Ozarks community.
Sorry, I'm old. I've got to wear glasses. Mountain Grove, Missouri is 60 miles from Fort Leonard Wood, 192 miles from Whiteman Air Force Base, and 209 miles from Little Rock Air Force Base. Our small community is relatively disconnected from military presence. Now, please raise your hand if you agree with that statement. Now let's try to prove that wrong. Thank you, Mountain Grove School District and Student Council, for allowing me to be here today. As Peyton said, my name is Chief Master Sergeant Byron Stewart, and I currently serve as the Senior Enlisted Leader of the 131st Communications Squadron, 131st Bomb Wing out of Jefferson Barracks, St. Louis, Missouri, where our mission is to support the 131st Bomb Wing out of Whiteman Air Force Base, home of the B-2 bomber. This past June marked my 28th year of service. To start today, there are a few people I'd like to thank, or take a moment to thank. My wife has worked at this high school here at Mountain Grove through two deployments I've been on, one in 2009 and one in 2018. During that time, 3 educators here at the Mountain Grove School District have supported myself and my troops during a very long time away from home. These individuals continue to support those who are overseas and in our community all year round. If Miss Wendy Thompson, Miss Ladora Pounds, and Miss Lori Hyde would please come forward. Don't be shy. We got you guys. These 3, and I'm sure many others, do so much for veterans that others may not see. Can we please give them a round of applause one last time? I want you 3 to know how much your fellow Americans appreciate you. Letters from your students, gifts from your classes, and assemblies like this one today remind me and service members like myself that home might be far away, but we're always remembered and supported. And remember, there are 2 basic items that everyone wants when they're deployed, especially in the desert. We like beef jerky and wet wipes. Thank you, ladies, for showing how a small community such as Mountain Grove connects with the military. So why did I join? That is a question I get all too often, as I'm sure many of our veterans here today get. For myself, I grew up in a very patriotic home. My father was an Army scout in Vietnam. We'll come back to him. My mother served in the Air Force. Both grandfathers served. My mother's father served as a battleship gunner in World War II, and my dad's father retired as an Air Force OSI lieutenant colonel, which is much like the military's version of the FBI. So for me, let's just call it destiny. Or the fact that I grew up right outside of Barksdale Air Force Base, one of the largest Air Force bases in the world in Louisiana. But regardless, all I ever wanted to do was serve my country and wear this uniform, although we have to agree the Marine uniforms are way cooler. As I stand up here today and look in front of me, I'm reminded of the honorable men and women like those in my family who have done so much and sacrificed for our country, honestly more than I personally ever have. People who have owed, we all owe a gratitude of debt that we could never repay. In honor of them, please stand or raise your hand if you are a veteran of the armed forces, meaning you are no longer serving but yet have served. These individuals and the people, thank you. These individuals And people like my mother and father and grandparents are the reason I personally joined the military. Thank you. Have a seat. Sorry, I don't mean to keep you standing there. After I joined, I learned a lot of individuals had many different reasons for why they joined. The list of pros for joining the military is an extremely long list. Medical, travel, educational benefits, the list truly goes on and on and on. The biggest reason I tried to instill in my kids was leave. Leave a small town and go see the world. You can always come home. And they have. My one big con of joining the military, obviously, is being away from family. This is hard, trust me. For myself, my father was out of the military before I came along, but this has greatly impacted my own children over the years. Being the child of a military member, in many cases, can mean your parents are gone for extended lengths of time, not knowing if they'll return, or not knowing who they'll be when they do return. It can mean they miss many of special events, such as birthdays, sporting events, or even a graduation. For those 2 6-month deployments I was on, I missed over a year of my kids' lives. That's a lot, especially when they're kids. But others have sacrificed so much more. Here, there are no local bases, so children of military members don't generally get the support that they would around a military base. So if you know anyone whose parents are serving, please let them know, please know they need your support, even if everything seems fine. Please stand or raise your hand if you are the child of a military veteran or active duty military member and one or both of your parents have served. Thank you. For those that stood, whether you have served or not, you are connected to the military and part of our community. Remember these individuals and other like them, especially when you read about wars and deployments. It affects their world tremendously. Okay, now back to my dad. In my house, my dad had this huge glass case built into the wall of the living room. Inside it were pictures of himself, the scout teams he was in, Vietnam relics, flags, medals, and other things. He even had a diffused grenade that I wonder how he got as I got older. I'm still puzzled by that one. But all I ever wanted to do was be like my dad. My entire life, he never spoke about his time in Vietnam, not once that I can remember. Last year, finally, at Thanksgiving, he and I sat down and went through a scrapbook he had created that showed me all of his time in the military. It was absolutely fascinating. We sat and talked for hours. I could have listened to those stories all day. I was finally learning at the age of 45 that my dad did things in Vietnam that he had never shared or showed on the outside. If you knew my dad, he's an extremely soft-spoken man, and what many would consider a very dark past, and was capable of more than I could have ever imagined. I still think about those stories daily. Most kids grow up and tell you they want to be a firefighter, a police officer, a nurse, which are all noble professions, but not myself. All I ever wanted to do was be like my father, and very early in life, I truly focused on everything to becoming a fighter pilot. Obviously, that didn't happen. My ACT wasn't as high as it needed to be. But the military changed my course over my life. I enlisted right out of high school. I went into what some would call a nerdy job, becoming a tactical radio communications maintenance technician. My first assignment was supporting special operations, and I had the opportunity to experience more in my first years than most do in an entire career. I got off active duty in June 2001, just a few short months before September 11th, and was transferred over to the Air Force Guard. Once in the Guard, I made the choice to change careers, and I switched over to cyber transport, aka computer networking, which is where I've been ever since. These days, I don't do much technical work because when you're a chief, it's hard to do technical work when you have a coffee cup in your hand at all times. Being away from the family over the years has never been easy. But serving my country always was and it still is. Service before self is a motto of the United States Air Force. I have always felt it my highest honor to be able to do that and wear this uniform, and I'm sure other active duty members feel also. If you are a current active duty military member, would you please stand? All too often, we focus on the military member being a focus of being gone and making the ultimate sacrifice. But being gone means someone has to stay home. Do we have any past or present military spouses here today? Please stand. Thank you. Doing the job of both parents while a military member is not an easy task, but spouses take on the job as if it's second nature for extended periods of time. It's a role that can never be overlooked because it's often the primary source of comfort for the military member while they're deployed and the military child back home. I can recall on my last deployment them giving us a briefing right before coming home. They spoke. Your spouses are in a rhythm. Do not go home and assume everything will be normal. They have a system. Learn to integrate back into it. Life will not be normal. And this was true. My wife can attest. As I've gotten older, my role has started to change. While serving, my children have grown up, and now I only have my daughter Sydney still living at home, who is in attendance today, in the back there. Our other three boys have been in a combined 7 years. Cody 4, Caleb 2, and Aiden 1. Between the three of them, remember I told them that I wanted them to leave. Between the three of them, they have been to Alaska, Colorado, Florida, Germany, Japan, Djibouti, which is a country in Africa, and the United Kingdom. Our son Cody, raise your hand. Our son Cody was recently selected to become an officer by the Vice Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force, actually last week. Thousands of airmen applied. 28 out of the entire Air Force were selected. He was one of them. We are incredibly proud of you, Cody. Now this one's interesting. So, Cody's wife, Hannah, raise your hand. Hannah, I lost my spot. So Hannah is also in the Air Force. So does anyone remember the spy balloon that flew over Alaska and came over the United States? There was like a lot of big news, right? Well, Hannah's job is what we call battlefield management. And while they were stationed in Alaska, she was the actual ground support or I don't even know what you call it. She was on the ground talking with the fighter pilots that actually pulled the trigger on that mission. So she has a very cool job. Crazy, huh? Hannah and Cody are in attendance today, as you see, with our grandson Cooper in town visiting from Colorado, and they will go home today. We're not sure where the Air Force will take them next, but we're excited for them. Caleb is currently deployed to the beaches of Japan. Like I said, the Air Force has a good quality of life. He's an intelligence analyst in Fairbanks, Alaska, supporting the most advanced fighter jet in the world, the F-35 Lightning II. We often ask what he does on a daily basis, but he always tends to remind us that if he told us, he would have to kill us. I think he's being a little overdramatic. Finally, our youngest son, Aiden, lives on the beaches in Florida, where he provides special operators of all branches, including SEALs, special pararescuemen, and all the other operators, with the equipment they need for the mission they are performing. He actually got a call just last week about his first possible deployment to the Middle East, coming up in April. He's actually very excited. I say the only constant in the military is change. All of our children have different jobs that require special skill sets that meet their talents, whether it be analytical, precision, or communication skills. We are immensely proud of them and their decision to serve our country. Now, please stand or raise your hand if you are the sibling of someone who has been in the military, like your brother or sister have also joined. Or raise your hand. Thank you. If you are also the parent of someone who at some point in their lives has chosen to serve, stand and be recognized. So your son or daughter has served. Thank you. I never considered how it felt for my family when I left until our kids got older, what it looked like to see my only daughter in uniform. One day I'll have to salute her and now Cody. I don't know if anything will ever make me more proud than that. A parent's only goal for their children is for them to always do better than ourselves. Over the years, our family has become nothing short of a commercial for the United States Air Force. But why the Air Force? For me, it was really because of my father. I had an Army recruiter show up at the house one time. When he showed up at the door, my father told him, if he wants to jump out of planes, shoot guns, or fly, he can do that in the Air Force. And that was it. My path was basically decided for me. I'm grateful for his guidance, and it turned out to be the best decision of my life. The boys, I'm not entirely sure why they joined the Air Force. You'd have to ask them. Cody's in attendance. But I might have nudged them toward the Navy or the Air Force more than the others when making their decision to join our country. Looking out into the audience, I see some young faces that remind me of myself 30 years ago, ready to serve. Please stand, because I hear there are a few in attendance. Please stand if you have already signed an oath of enlistment, not yet attended basic, or not yet gone active duty. We have a couple, don't we? Awesome. Thank you for doing something that less than 1% of the population decides to do. These adults are the future of our country. Those seated in front of you were once the future, and you can learn a lot from them. I would encourage you to ask about their experiences. Trust me, we like to talk. Now, if you're considering the military, let me consider a bit about each branch. Each one has a unique personality, and this is my own analysis. Please let me know if you disagree. The Army. If you want to be a part of the most versatile fighting force in the Army, or in the world, join the Army. There's no other branch that comes to mind first when you say the word military. Navy. Join the Navy for some of the best training. Sailors have to be at the top of their game, especially when surrounded by thousands of miles of water. Marines, if you want to experience pride like no other, become a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine is more than a slogan. Air Force. The best quality of life, it's undisputably the Air Force. Did you know we spend more money on quality of life upgrades than all other branches combined? Other branches jealously call us the Chair Force, but as I always tell them, it's hard to fly planes standing up. Coast Guard, if you want cool missions, check out the Coast Guard. Whether it's rescuing fishermen off the coast of Alaska or intercepting drug cartels down in Central America, every mission is movie-worthy from what I hear. Every branch is important and serves its purpose in our great military. Every job also serves a purpose. No matter what you might choose to do, if you decide to go into the military, it all matters. This past summer, I got to experience something truly amazing. Not something different, but as a senior leader, I had a different take on things that you often miss as a junior leader or a younger or junior member. When you go into the military, sometimes you can often feel as if you don't matter. What's my role? How am I making an impact? I had never seen that clearer than the display I had seen this last summer in Michigan. Our Guard unit was the first in the Air Force to have to exercise the Air Force new combat method, Agile Combat Deployment, or ACE, because we all love our acronyms. We were given a mission: develop an air base in the middle of a foreign country. In this case, it was in the middle of Michigan, which is basically the same thing, in 72 hours with just 22 people. In 72 hours, we had a complete power grid set up, water filtration system, bathrooms, tents, dining facility big enough to support 150 people, which arrived about 3 days later. We had tons of different jobs, but as a leader, I was able to see different people from the Army and the Air Force and all walks of life work together to accomplish one mission. It was hugely successful. We were able to provide the units after us a foundation to utilize in the worst-case scenario of having to perform this mission in real-world scenarios in austere foreign countries. Okay, if you stood at any point today, please stand again for one moment or raise your hand. If you stood at any time today, please raise your hand or stand. Please look around. Look at the people in your community that have been touched by the military in some capacity. The fabric of your community has been sewn together in red, white, and blue by the people in it. Some of you might not have had any idea that their family had ties to the military. Some of them might have been like my dad and never even talked about it. Please have a seat. I want to thank you for the sacrifices your family have made to keep our country safe. I know those sacrifices have not been easy and impact each of us differently. I'm truly honored to say that I've been in the military for 28 years and counting, and I'll stay in until they kick me out, achieving the highest rank possible as an enlisted member. Only 1% of the enlisted force attains the rank of chief. I'm proud of my children. They have chosen to serve. It's not an easy choice, but look at the tradition they have continued. I'm proud of the experience I share with all the veterans in this room. I'm proud to know all of the people I've served with over the years. The reason we all joined the military, we're all very different, but we all come together for a purpose, and that's to defend and protect our country. I hope when my kids look back on their childhood and think about the moments where I missed out on important moments, they know that I was never wanted to be gone. But at the same time, I had an obligation to serve my country. I had never taken that obligation lightly. In the Bible, Isaiah 6:8, it reads, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then I said, here am I, send me. I am proud I answered the call. It forever changed my life and has brought me wealth I could never imagine in money. Even if the military isn't in the future, I do encourage all of you to consider why. What guides you each day? Use those decisions to make yourself proud every single day. And if you think the military might be something of interest for you, feel free to reach out to myself or my wife. She has more knowledge than me sometimes. I'll give you all the information I can and point you in the right direction of someone who can if I can't answer those questions. It's truly been a decision I have never regretted. In closing, I would like to say, as you leave today, remember to make good choices, be kind to everyone, spread your wings. It is a very big world out there. Go see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Master Sergeant Stewart, for being a part of our celebration. We are honored. At this time, we would like to ask Commander John Dodds and past District 18 Commander Russell Olowinski to recognize our prisoner of war and missing in action soldiers with the Fallen Comrades table.
As you entered the bank hall this evening, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor. It is set for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this evening, and so we remember them. The table is set for one, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of the intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and their loved ones of our comrades in arms, and keep their faith awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon tied is promiscuously on the vase, is reminiscence of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determinations and demand a pure accounting of our missing. Remember. The candle. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconscionable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they await. Remember, the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember, the chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not been forsaken you. Remember. Remember until the day they come home. Remember.
Thank you, Commander Dodds and Commander Olwinski. Now would everyone please stand to honor those who have fallen as the American Legion Post 30 present their honor salute to those who have lost their lives protecting our country.
We will now take the opportunity to recognize every veteran that is here with us today in the branch in which you serve. As your branch of service is called, please stand and stand.
Army. Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force,
Ladies and gentlemen, this deserves another round of applause. Thank you to each and every one of you for keeping us safe. Would you please remove your hats and stand as Eden Stump, Kyson Hayes, and Miss Rihanna Turner lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the retirement of colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we come to the close of today's ceremony, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've heard and what we've seen. The stories, the songs, and the faces before us remind us that freedom is not free. It has been earned and protected through courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication. To all the veterans here today, and to those who could not be with us, we offer you our deepest gratitude. Your service has shaped our history, safeguarded our present, and inspired our future. Let us carry forward the spirit of Veterans Day beyond this gathering. Let us live with this same sense of duty, honor, and compassion that our veterans have shown in their service. Whether it's through small acts of kindness, community service, or simply taking the time to listen to a veteran's story, we each can do our part to honor their legacy. On behalf of the entire community, thank you for joining us in this tribute. And most of all, thank you to our veterans for your bravery, your service, and your enduring love of country. May we never forget, may we always remember, and may we always be worthy of the freedoms you've given us. Thank you.